at you with another video. Today I want to talk to you about, I have my notes here, 7 things that I've learned since I started my candle business almost 2 years ago. And also, I wish I had known as far as, doing my research. But hey, we live and we learn. So with that being said, I'll be going from my notes again, and let's get started. First thing I want to talk about, and I touched on it in my previous videos, is melt point, pour points, and flash points. These are some very, very, very important terms. So if you're thinking about making your own candles or coming into the candle business, I would really advise you to understand this chemistry very well. So let's get started. Now, in the candle business, when we say melt point, the melt point is that point where a solid liquid, which is the wax, where a solid becomes a liquid, which is the wax, when it's heated to about 125 to 180 degrees Fahrenheit in a container. So basically, excuse me, the melt point is that point when a solid turns into a liquid, and that happens when you put that solid to some heat at 125 to 180 degrees Fahrenheit. I have part 1 there, so let me see why I have pour points. The pour point is that point that you want to get to where you want to pour into your desired container when the wax is liquefied, and usually that is about 180 degrees Fahrenheit. So let's say, for example, we're doing a soy candle made of some kind of fruit, food, or something like that, right? That pour point is 180 degrees Fahrenheit, and at 180 degrees Fahrenheit, your candle gonna get a look where it looks like it's kind of an antique candle. But if you raise that temperature to like maybe 200 degrees Fahrenheit, then you can get more of a glossy look, a finishing look on your candle. And that sort of, when you raise the temperature, what you're doing is you're changing the texture of the wax itself. So from 180 degrees Fahrenheit, you can get like a antique look, an old looking candle. And when you raise that temperature, you're going to get something like a more glossy, more shiny looking candle. Okay? And your candles will have a finishing look like it's shiny and brand new at 200 and above degrees Fahrenheit. Okay. Now flash point, as we talked about the other day, the flash point is where the candle goes from a liquid to a flame. And this happens around 250 degrees Fahrenheit, which is why you should never ever walk away from your wax melting when you're making your candles, because this can happen pretty fast. I have here, it's something like, you know how it is when you're cooking and the oil in the bottom of the pan gets like them little wavy lines in it at the bottom of the pan, and you know that your oil is hot enough for cooking. Well, the same concept when you heating up your wax, except the difference is that's your flash point. At any moment, if you're not paying attention, you're about to explode. Your wax is about to go up in flames. So you want to pay very, very, very careful attention to that. Now getting back to your pour points, I wanted to touch on like when you the temperatures, like when you when you pouring your temperature, for example, let's take soy. If we pour a soy wax inside of a container of 185 degrees and we add 185 degrees Fahrenheit, we have to let that temperature come down in soy to about 135 degrees Fahrenheit, and then you can pour in your fragrance oil. So with soy, or any wax really, if you pour it while the wax is too hot, you'll get the sinkholes, and if you pour it while it's too cold, then you get like a sort of like a bumpy finish. And but these things can be fixed with your heat gun, and that's a later video. Okay, so again, like I said, all waxes are not created equal. Like for example, your paraffin wax, your melting point for your paraffin waxes is 125 to 158 degrees Fahrenheit, which is where you want to add your fragrance oil. Your flash point, which is what we just talked about as far as explosion is concerned, the flash point of your paraffin is 392 to 462 degrees Fahrenheit. That's pretty hot, so yeah, you know. Now with soy has a melting point is 120 degrees Fahrenheit to 180 degrees Fahrenheit, and the flash point on soy is 450 degrees Fahrenheit. And with coconut wax, the melting point is 75 degrees to 100 degrees Fahrenheit, and a flash point of only 350. So you really want to keep your eye on that coconut oil, because that can go up like that really fast. Okay, so I just wanted to kind of sort of reiterate on those few things. Okay, another thing that this is number 4. You want to always clip and cut your wicks. You know, because when you don't clip and cut your wicks, they tend to give off smut. It reduces, you know, it can cause your candle to tunnel, you know, make the hole on the inside and just burn straight down. And when you do clip your wicks, it provides a light and vibrant and even burning. So in order to reduce some tunneling, the tunneling of your candle, clip your wicks. You know, if you want to stop the smudge and on like a paraffin candle, for example, clip your wicks. Let me see, number 5. Oh yeah, this should have been number 1, but it's number 5. Test your candles. In the beginning, I thought it was something that I really hated. It was something about testing candles that made me think about, I liked calculus. Made me think about a subject in school that I didn't like too much, although I can't think of that subject right now. Algebra. Until I learned how to, you know, do algebra, I hated algebra. But when you test your candles, you know, for a new candle, when you're creating a new candle, you're going to have to test it time and time again to get that perfect candle. You want to know, you want to test it for the wax that you're using, whether it be coconut, apricot, soy, paraffin, coconut, whatever kind of wax you use. A new jar, you want to test it. New wicks, you want to test it. Fragrances, you want to test it. Any kind of additives, colors, if you want to add colors, if you want to add a color additive to make your candles last longer with the colors, you know, you need to test for every different situation that you're going to create a candle. So for example, if you're going to create a apricot candle with nothing in it but fragrance oil, you're going to test it. if you're going to create a coconut candle with, you know, the point is just test your candles to make sure they give you a smooth, even burning. Okay, number 5, I wanted to talk about your fragrance load. Usually 6-10% is a pretty good fragrance load, with a maximum of 12%, depending on the type of wax that you use. Depending on the type of wax that you use. Usually any amount greater than 12% will cause your candle to sweat little bubbles on top, and it'll burn quickly, and you end up losing your money that you invested in making the candle, because you sweated out all the fragrance oils and the candle just burnt pretty fast. So that's another reason why you want to test, but you want to also not use more than 12% fragrance oil. Again, read the labels in it for a particular candle, a particular wax. You want to know what fragrance load can that wax hold, and that's another video. I'll be doing that one too. Okay, another one is number 7 is you want to definitely do your research in candle signs. And when I say do your research, you can't just go and say, well, oh, I'm gonna go make some candles and this is what I'm gonna do, because you done blew yourself up and anybody else around you. Making candles is a science, and a person need to really know all the chemistry that is involved in making a candle. You need to know the fragrance load, the type of wax, how they interact with each other. It's just so much that you need to know. The wicks, how that's going to burn down inside of the candle wax. You know, how is that interacting with the fragrance oil, which is interacting with the wax, and all of that is interacting within that container, that vessel, that jar, and it is flame, it is fire. So if you're not careful and you don't know the chemistry of your candle, you could literally burn yourself down, burn yourself up. So, or anyone else that you may want to give a candle to. So know what you're doing when you're making candles. That's all I got to say about that part. You really need to know what you're doing. Okay, and so basically that's my notes that for temperatures. Yeah, essentially that's it. And you want to you know, if you're thinking about going into the candle business, do your research. And you know, again, like I said, it takes patience and it takes time to learn exactly what you're doing. So with that said, please like, share this video, and